Well, the Big 12 absolutely ran circles around the Pac-12, both in terms of actual substance and, of course, the PR and narrative battle, all within the last 48 hours. Welcome in to the channel. I am John Kurtz. Here on this channel, talk conference realignment from a Big 12 slant, plus college football and college basketball. Please consider subscribing if you have not, and make sure you turn that bell on so you know what it is that I'm going live. You can support the channel on Venmo at John-Kurtz-4. A lot has happened within the last 48 hours. Not much of it good for the Pac-12, a lot of it symbolic and very good for the Big 12. Of course, I need to start with a general welcome to the Big 12 Conference to Cincinnati, BYU, Houston, and UCF. All of that is now official as of July 1st. That was official, and we've seen an outpouring of social media love and support for the new conference brethren. Salute to you, my friends. Congratulations on making it to the Power 5, and congratulations to getting in to the Big 12 Conference. Now, as all of this was happening, let's just piece this together. Here is what happened in the course of Friday and Saturday. The Big 12 made their new TV deal official. It was announced by the conference. We got a statement from Brett Yormark that included a shout out to our friends at Endeavor. All hail Lord Karen. All hail Lord Karen. Endeavor gets a shout out in the statement from the Big 12 on signing the deal, dotting those I's, crossing those T's. And it was impeccable timing because, of course, it comes in the wake of the Pac-12 continuing to struggle there. The Pac-12 could only present the general framework of a TV deal the same day on Friday. So we're still waiting. And in a week where there was rumor all over the place that the Pac-12 was going to actually be presenting a full deal, they did not. And it sounds like more framework is expected by July 21st, which, of course, is their media day. These, according to Ross Dellinger tweets, which would lead you to believe that that deadline that was set out there by John Wilner of Media Day is not going to probably be hit either, so we continue to play this same game with the Pac-12. In the wake of that, San Diego State, of course, had their deadline coming up on June 30th. They were not able to join the Pac-12. The Pac-12 continues to say expansion will happen after the TV deal, so now the Mountain West, for a second time in their history, has to go crawling back to the Mountain West Conference. San Diego State going back to the Mountain West, not joining the Pac-12, and then to top it all off, again, the Big 12 made it official that BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF are joining the league. So, quick recap of that. Big 12 makes TV deal official. Big 12 makes BYU, Cincy, Houston, and UCF official. Pac-12 can only present the general framework of a TV deal, and San Diego State has to go back to the Mountain West because the Pac-12 has screwed them, quite frankly. I feel bad for San Diego State, but more on that in an upcoming video. Here's what we have first on the Pac-12 TV deal. We're going to start there because that was the first thing that really came out on Friday. This is a tweet from Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated. He says, at a board meeting today, the Pac-12 presented presidents with an update on what's termed accelerated progress on the TV deal, sources tell SI Now. Only a general framework was revealed with significant linear concepts. A more substantive framework expected by Football Media Day on July 21st. Second tweet says Pac-12 leadership reiterated that any expansion decisions will be made after a deal has been agreed to. This puts San Diego State in a bind as the Aztecs must give the Mountain West formal notice of withdrawal by today. Of course, this was on Friday, to avoid doubling the $17 million exit fee for the 2024 season. So what you have there, the accelerated was in quotes. So that is what the Pac-12 source is saying here. Like, look, we've got accelerated progress on a TV deal, but yet it was only a general framework that was revealed. Significant linear concepts is also a part that is trying to be stressed here. We have talked ad nauseum about the fact that the Pac-12 might have visibility issues if too much of it is going to be streaming, but that is a very, very vague layout here. Significant linear concepts. What exactly does that mean? We don't know. We really have no idea. And the last little bit of reporting that we had on this suggested from Jim Williams when he tweeted that it was going to be creative and forward-thinking, what the Pac-12 was going to do with this. Now we're seeing significant linear concepts. Just a lot of vagueness being thrown out there, and we don't have any actual teeth to what the substance of it is. Don't know what to tell you as far as that goes. But what I do know, and what is very obvious, is we are just kicking the can down the road yet again. I mean, the Pac-12 propaganda machine push here lately had been that this was coming very close, and there were whispers that perhaps this week was when it was going to be presented officially, and yet here we are again, going through the same terrible news cycle of everybody rolling their eyes and being like, when is this actually going to happen? When are the updates going to stop just being like, hey, we're close, we're close, we're close, we're close, we're close, we're close. You just tack this onto the list that's been going around Twitter that somebody kept on the Notes app of every single time this has happened. It's about the 13th or 14th time in the last year that this has happened. So on the heels of that, literally within hours. And this is the brilliance of the Big 12 these days. The marketing and PR has just been on point. Say what you will about Endeavor, but they clearly know what they're doing there, because within literal just a couple hours, we got this from Pete Thamel. He says, sources, the Big 12 has signed and executed its long-form television contracts with Fox and ESPN for the TV deal slated to begin in July of 2025. The deal runs through 2031. This is the formalization and completion of the deal announced in October, the process of which began when the Big 12 opened its negotiating window a year early. The Big 12's attention now moves to finalizing a data deal, which is expected in the upcoming weeks. Now, I don't know, like, if this had always been planned to be dropping right now, I guess it would make some sense if you're doing it within like 8 hours of officially announcing the 4 new members coming into the conference. And maybe it just so worked out that a couple of hours after the fact, that the Pac-12 once again had a report come out that did not include an actual deal being presented to their presidents and leadership. The Big 12 says, hey, by the way, our TV deal with plenty of visibility and a good chunk of money for us is finalized. Nothing else to worry about there. I do wonder if this was rushed a little bit, the announcement of it thrown out there a little bit early just to piggyback on that and capitalize. Positive media cycle for you, Pac-12 negative media cycle, right? It's almost like George Kliavkoff threw the alley and Brett Yormark was like, fine, I'll take that, and just dunked it home with the oop there. Now, I know some of you may be asking, all right, so what's a data deal? Because that's the last line here. The Big 12's attention now moves to finalizing a data deal, which is expected in the upcoming weeks. Here's a little blurb from the Sports Business Journal a couple of months ago that I pulled up on the data deal. It says the Big 12 is finalizing its first revenue-producing data and statistics partnership, industry sources say. A decision on a data partner is expected in the coming weeks, and it will require approval by the Big 12's board. Given the conference's deep relationship with Endeavor, all hail Lord Karen, which has advised the Big 12 on many issues, including its media rights, sources say IMG Arena is the frontrunner for the data rights deal. IMG Arena, which is owned by Endeavor, serves as the data distribution partner for professional leagues like MLS and PGA Tour. A league's data partner typically manages and distributes official statistics to media and fan sites. It remains to be seen if this Big 12 deal also will include the rights to sell data to sports betting services, but they are believed to be part of those negotiations. Those rights could drive up the financial value of the deal significantly. So far, the only two conferences have struck data partnerships, the MAC and the Pac-12, but those arrangements did not include the ability to sell stats to sports betting services. So it looks like the Big 12 can make a little bit of extra cash by involving the sports betting services here and sending their data to those sports betting services. I won't even claim to fully grasp and understand what all goes into a data deal, how much money that could possibly be, but it seems like the smart thing to do would be to go ahead and cozy up to the sports betting partner there and make a little bit of extra money. So seems like the Big 12 is making all the right moves, doing all the right things, and it's just falling into place as the Pac-12 continues to flounder here. And again, I cannot stress enough, Endeavor and Brett Yormark have done such a wonderful job of controlling the narrative and controlling PR, and they are just killing it. And they capitalized on what has turned into one of their enemies right now being a little bit down here in the last 48 hours. There is one other little bit here to throw in, and that is that there was a tweet that came out reading as follows. Here's another conference TV rights nugget today. As part of the finalization of its TV deal, the Big 12 expects to play weekday football games, including Friday nights. So that was from Ross Dellinger again. This should not come as a surprise to anybody. The Big 12 is playing Friday night football games this year. That's already happening. And going back to 2021, when all this went down, we said, look, the Big 12 is probably going to have to get creative, try to sync up with the gambling part. We've already heard about that with the data rights deal. They need to, as well, probably play some weeknight games and accentuate those windows where you'd be the only show in town. Drive up some of the viewership there, provide more value to your TV partners. That's how you're going to milk as much money as you possibly can out of the TV contract. And I know it's not an ideal thing. It's not everybody's favorite thing, but we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming, and it's something that the Big 12 is far from the only league to do. And is going to be far from the only league to do it moving forward. This is going to be the game for anybody that's not the Big 10 or the SEC that has to get creative here, and the Big 12 is doing that. So pretty good 48 hours, I would say, folks. Beat goes on with the Pac-12, and honestly, beat goes on with the Big 12. I'll have a live show coming up on Monday. Did want to let you know, not going to be able to do it Sunday. Looking like Monday night for the live show here on what to me is a long holiday weekend. I'm also going to do a separate video specifically on the San Diego State piece of this because their situation is, unfortunately, a little bit convoluted right now. Appreciate you guys. John-Kurtz-4 on Venmo to support the channel. Make sure you get subscribed. Click that bell so you know when it is that I'm going live. Spread the word about the channel, and I will talk to you all soon.